So in Chimandunja, there's actually 4 realms. The deity, the universe, the heaven, the earth, and the man. So in the universe, we actually, it's more of the miracle sector. So the higher power that governs us, that will be the universe. So for heaven is more of the opportunities that are presented to you. Earth will be the action that we are taking, the action that we do in order to achieve a certain result. And man would actually represent the people involved. So these 4 components here encapsulates Chimandunja as a whole. But for today, because we catered this class for there are more beginner people, more beginner students here. So we are just going to focus on the universe sector. For the universe realm, there are actually 10 deities. So don't be don't let the word fear you. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Don't let the word fear you. Deities does not actually mean does not have any religious connotation to it. It's just translation of the Chinese word sun. So that's why it's called deities. It represents 10 different type of energy forms that we can use for different purposes. Okay, so in Chimandunja, there are 10 deities. Chief, 6 harmony, great moon, 9 earth, 9 heavens. Later on, we'll go more in depth into it, yeah. Then the red phoenix, grappling hook, surging snake, white tiger, black tortoise. So at any point of time, you would actually see only 8 of them. These 2 would be missing, or these 2 will be missing at any given point of time. It's normal. Okay, so if you're looking at your own chart, don't worry if you don't have certain deities in your chart. The reason why this is red, this is in red, this is in black. Traditionally, they like to see the red ones as the good guys and the black ones as the bad guys. But in reality, there are no good guys or bad guys. It's just a matter of what you plan to do with them. So I would rather see the top one here as being book smart, the straight book smart people. The bottom one here is a bit more street smart. Okay, so it really depends what you plan to do with it. They are all usable. They are no good or bad. Okay. So now that we got, hopefully you got this. Okay. So you've got this now. Okay. So now we're gonna start with the relationship issue, the one that everyone's been waiting for. Okay. So this entire model here represents the whole relationship cycle. It's a very standard, very common relationship cycle for everybody at any point of time. So we start here. Everyone starts here, self-love. So this is, apparently there are 7 stages here. So I just briefly go through this chart. In any given relationship, we basically start here, alone, assuming we are alone, because nowadays in modern relationship context, I know there are a lot of different scenarios. So I will try to cover as much scenarios as possible. And I hope we can all agree that, especially in relationship, there is no right, no wrong, and there'll be no judgments. Okay, because there is relationship is a very abstract issue. So there will be no judgments. Okay, so assuming we are all here alone, except that in relationships, I mean in real life, we're not exactly alone, because when we go out and work, we meet people. And when we even when we go to a coffee shop, we go to Starbucks, you meet the barista, you meet people in line, or you watch movies, there are actually people around you. So actually, the potential of meeting people is actually very high. So from here, all the way up here, so you meet a lot of people every day, but some may gel with you, and actually some does not. So you go through this whole stage. You see this whole line here. It's actually not a straight line. It's actually different people that you meet, right? It's like some is like, oh, he's cute, he's not. He's cute, he's not. Or he's okay, he's nice, he's not. He's nice, he's not. So you need a bit of faith here, this up and down circle, in order to finally meet one that you are like, oh, okay, I think this one's pretty interesting. Maybe we'll give it a try. He's really quite cute. He's okay. So we have the attraction here. So this is now we go to stage 2. Okay, so this is the attraction. So once you see a guy or a girl that you like, so how do you, we go to the next step. You try to ask them out. So from here, right, while doing research for this webinar, I actually came across an article that actually says there are a few tips that humans can take from the animal kingdom when it comes to flirting. So the few that I got was, did you know penguins actually, they go around, they search for this pebble, they search for the perfect pebble to actually give to their other half. So they find the perfect pebble, and they give this perfect pebble to the other to the other penguin that they like. So that was one of it. And then the second one was, I think it was giraffes. So female giraffes are actually quite funny, because when they see a male giraffe that they like, so they're just walking around and they're like, oh, I like this giraffe. And what do? They actually pee. So in actual terms, they pee because there's pheromone in the pee that the male can smell, but it's actually quite funny. So just don't go around peeing. And the third one was baboons. Yeah, baboons. The baboons are quite funny. Baboons, they actually stare at each other. They just stare at each other. They just stare at the person that they like. And the other day, I was looking at Instagram. I saw this. I have this Instagram. Sorry, just getting the mic done. Okay. So on Instagram, there was this funny quote that says, I can't flirt, so I'm just going to stare at you until you marry me. So it's probably written by a baboon. And the fourth one was guppies. So male guppies have very long, flowy tails. So when they see a female that they like, they do this whole flipping dance here and there. But the other males actually get jealous. So they will actually bite the tail of the guppy. So if you have guppy fish at home, guppy fishes, the small ones that we always keep in our fish tank. So if you see that the tails are all shredded, then their love rivals actually beat it off. So it's quite sad, but not so far off from the humans, I guess. So from there, we go to courtship here. So after courtship, you find this person that you really like, and you're going out, and you think that, okay, this is the one. So from here, we go to the next stage, which is commitment. Okay, so in commitment here may not necessarily mean marriage, because in this day and age, you'll be surprised there are quite a lot of people who are very comfortable with domestic partnership. It's like being married, but without the legalities. So this is actually quite popular these days. And also if you are a gay couple, so it's more of a domestic partnership than a marriage. So that would be the commitment part of it. So here, once you're committed to another person, this is when problem starts to happen when reality kicks in. So when reality kicks in, all the problems starts to come in. It's like you start to see their habits, and you meet their parents, or financial issues, children. So there could be a lot of problems, any problems. I'm sure everyone has been through some sort of problem in their relationship. So here is where the euphoria, the initial happiness here starts to die down. So a lot of the problems that we are going to discuss today is actually here, this part. There's one that is around here, but the other 6 will be here. Okay, so once you work through all these problems, then your relationship starts to go through maturity. So in the maturity stage, you have 3 options. You actually have 3 options here. So assuming you could work through all these problems, assuming you did every single thing, all 7 of them, and then you managed to solve them. So you managed to, sorry, we got this a bit wrong. Yeah? This is reigniting. This one is reigniting. Okay, so your relationship goes up again. Happiness level up, euphoria up. So the second choice that you can actually make is to settle. This is settle. Okay, some people, they think that, okay, I can take all this, it doesn't matter, I just close one eye and it's fine. So they settle, and so it's a straight line. Happiness level is straight line. So the last one, assuming you have tried everything and you can't really solve it, then you terminate. Because sometimes fixing means fixing, but sometimes fixing means leaving. So here we terminate. If you terminate, then you start this all over again. So that makes this the relationship life cycle. Okay, so now that we've gone through that, okay, let's just check. Okay, just want to make sure that you guys can hear me. Is there a way we can move? Can hear? Okay. Everything is okay. So we can continue. Okay. Okay, so we're going to continue, and we're going to go into, okay. So after a lot of research done, I managed to conclude that these are the most common 7 problems that we have. Okay, so I'm sure almost everyone has gone through this at least once in their life, maybe in different intensity. Okay, so these are the 7 issues. We're going to start with the first one, which is, before we start, okay, I need to show you. This is the 2018 achievement chart. So today we are going to use this chart to solve your problems. We still have about October, November, December, January, about 3.5 months left. So we can still use this chart. So I hope everyone can at least take a picture of it so that you know the position of the deity. The most important thing is you need to know the deity, where the deity is, and where the direction is. Okay? So if you could quickly take a screenshot or keep this with you right now so that when I finish or when I go through the issues, then you know which direction they are. Okay, just going to give you a few minutes. Just going to give you a while to quickly jot it down. Okay, so this is how achievement chart would look like. Even the one that you plotted for yourself would actually look like this. And the hour, the day, they also have hour, day charts, month charts. They will all look like this, but all the boxes will be in different positions. So these are not fixed positions. They can change at any given time, or every 2 hours they change. Every year they change, every month they change. So right now we are going to use the year chart. Okay, so has everyone managed to jot it down? Okay, so what we are going to do here today is I will run through the issues first, and then I will tell you the best method to solve it, how to solve it. But I also need to kind of set your expectation, because relationship issues sometimes could be compounding from many years. It could have been, it could be for many years already. So it's not something that you can actually settle overnight. So while I'm not promising that you can solve every single issue by tomorrow, what we can do today is at least point you to the right direction, and to actually give you a start, the first start. And that first start will actually lead you places. Okay, so I hope we can agree with that. So now we're going to move to problem number 1, okay, which is family. So for family, sometimes I guess we all know that when we meet someone that we like, you don't really have a relationship with one person. You actually have a relationship with their whole family as well. So imagine yourself trying to meet a family, and suddenly they don't really like you. They don't like you at all. So if you have watched the movie Crazy Rich Asians, you might get this. So imagine you met someone really awesome, really great, like Nick Young. So imagine Nick Young wants to bring you home, meet his mom, and you fly all the way to another country to meet his mom, Michelle Yeoh, right? And suddenly she says, "You are not worthy of my son. Stay away from him." So this is one of the issues that we have. So what do we do when you have this problem? So imagine yourself like sitting on a dinner table, and these people are just shooting you, and you are all stressed out and you don't know what to do. So then you just run out, or you like take a breather. So what you can do is, let me get to the slide. Okay. Okay, so here we are going to be using the surging snake. So surging snake is actually a master of energy. They are very sensitive to energy. They are very good at controlling energy, and they are really good at controlling the energy of immediate surrounding. So even if you are surging snake, your destiny palace, for instance, is surging snake, you're actually quite sensitive to energy, and you can actually feel and manipulate the energy around you. People with surging snake, they are also really great. They have this talent for looking for properties. Once they step foot into a property, they also they instantly know that this property is good or not. So that is the characteristic of a surging snake. So what if this person, what if Michelle Yeoh doesn't like you, and what can you do on the spot? So assuming you are sitting in a family dinner, in their family dinner, and you need to use the surging snake. So the surging snake, if you look back at the first chart, at the 2018 chart, the surging snake is in the southeast. So in order to use Qi you first need a compass. But it's quite easy because nowadays our phones, we have a compass on our phone as well, right? So you quickly take a breather, go out, or maybe run to the toilet. Okay, maybe not the toilet, maybe somewhere outside. And then you quickly open up your phone and you look for the southeast direction. So once you found the southeast direction, there are actually two methods that you can use in order to manifest something, or in order to use the surging snake. So in order to use the surging snake, we have two methods. One is called the active method or the passive method. When you're using the passive method, right, it's a little bit easier if you have prior knowledge to meditation or qigong, or if you understand how it is to get into alpha state, or the state of calmness, the state of complete nothingness. So if you are more inclined to do that, and you can do that, so you have your back face southeast. So assuming this is southeast, so you just sit this way. And what you can do is, for the passive version, is that you make a wish. So you can actually quickly run out, look for the direction, and say, Michelle Yeoh will like me when I go in, or she will have a very good impression of me the moment I go in. So this is passive manifestation. So you can have your back face southeast and make a wish, and then you go back in. So the second method is the active method. So if you find it very difficult to get into sage mode, into alpha state, so you can actually choose to use the active method. Okay, so active method is when you quickly run out, and then you take a compass again. So again, you found southeast. But southeast is not where you're sitting. Maybe you're sitting over west or something like that. So when you go back inside, you know your directions already, right? Have your back face southeast, and probably just stand around the table and start talking to everyone. And when you start talking to everyone in that direction, you yourself probably have the intention of like, they're gonna like me. So you say likable things, you ask about everyone, and you will start to see that the energy around will actually start to change. So this is why I say, in order to use Qi, there's only one requirement. You have to be open to all possibilities. Okay, you have to be open that this is possible, and that by doing these two methods, it's possible to actually change someone's mind. So for this one, we are using the surging snake because we want to change the immediate energy that is around you. Okay, so this is the first one. Okay, so now we go through the second one. Second one is, okay, this is a very common problem, communication. So when I was in Kuantan earlier last month, we had an event in Kuantan last month. So there was this lady who actually came up to me, and we just started chatting. and she casually just asked me about her relationship with her husband, her compatibility to be exact. So just to sidetrack a bit, in 八字, we actually have such a thing called 八字 compatibility check, where there is a criteria. There's about 7 or 8 criteria that we use to actually check if two couples are compatible. So in this compatibility check, why we do this compatibility check is because if there's only one thing holding you, and that one thing holding both of you together is clashed away, we call it, then you don't have a strong foundation to begin with. So in general, we like to see about 3 to 4. So if 1 or 2 things get clashed off, you still have a foundation. So this is how we see whether your actual relationship has a foundation, strong foundation or not. Okay. So for this one, okay, just 1 second. Okay, so for her case, her compatibility check is actually quite okay. The only problem that she had is that she is really strong earth. She has very heavy earth in the chart. And her husband also has very heavy earth in the chart. So if you have this sort of chart, you generally don't like to share what issues you have or what is bothering you. You tend to not share it as much. So, but the problem is, they want people to actually know what is wrong, and what is happening to them. They assume that you should know. So for her, in her case, she doesn't want to tell her husband what is on her mind, and her husband also hardly shares what is on his mind. But they both assume that they both know, and they both assume that they should know. So I was telling her, there's no point, right? You should just tell him what's on your mind. So there's really no point to just assume or expect that your husband will know or should know. Okay, so this is the problem we have when this is one of the communication problem. And the second communication problem that you could have is when you both start talking and you both start arguing. So I think there are also these sort of issues, a lot of these sort of issues, where the moment someone opens the mouth, then they start arguing. So this one can go back to compatibility as well. So assuming that you're still compatible, you're still okay with each other, it's probably just a bad day, then we can find ways to solve it. Okay, so for communication. Okay, so for communication, we can actually use the 6 harmony, because 6 harmony, okay, let me see where's the 6 harmony this year. If you look back at the 2018 chart, 6 harmony is in the northeast. Okay, so 6 harmony is actually the star, the deity, that governs relationship in general. So it's always for win-win situation, peaceful negotiations, or even when you need a third person to actually help you diffuse the situation. So that is all in 6 harmony. So if you want to speak to someone, especially when there's the four magic words that women say. Why I say it's the 4 magic words, because the moment someone says we need to talk, the other person tends to run away. So if you don't want them to run away, you can back face 6 harmony, which is in the northeast. So place yourself in the northeast, back face northeast, and then you're like, come here, we need to talk. So the chances of him running away or her running away is a bit lower. and then you will most likely come to a peaceful agreement, or you can have a nice chat. Who knows? Something really good will come out of it. Okay, so this is to solve communication. The second one that we use is black tortoise. Why I use black tortoise is because sometimes when you speak and you start arguing, it's not because of the issue. Sometimes it's because of the tone of your voice. Sometimes it's because you don't know how to word something nicely. Sometimes it's our own issue because the way we speak. So black tortoise also, one thing about black tortoise is they are very good in communication. They're very charismatic, convincing. So what you can do with the black tortoise is more of I would use it more for a passive way. You can have your back face. Let me see, where's the tortoise? Northwest. So have your back face northwest, and you can actually command the black tortoise to help you speak better. Learn to speak better, learn how to communicate better. So that's what the black tortoise here is used for. So this one is communication. Now we are going to go to the next one. Okay, time. Okay, actually it's more of a time and energy management. So for the problem with this is sometimes we have no time for our loved ones because we are so busy working, so busy spending time at work, or spending time traveling. We also sometimes we work weekends and we are so burned out. We don't really have time to spend quality time to spend with the loved ones, because sometimes even you can be really so tired that you, even though you are there, your person is there, but you're actually not there because you're just too tired to participate. Okay, so this is one problem. This problem would not be so would be better during the early stages when you still have adrenaline, when it's still a new love, and you actually have the adrenaline to push you. But what if the adrenaline dies down? So you still need to put effort into every relationship. You need to spend time with each other in order to build a good relationship. So that would be here, time. So how do we solve this problem? Okay, so here we use the white tiger. So white tiger for in 2018, let me check again. 2018, white tiger is in the north. Okay, so the white tiger is in the north. So just wanted to add that energy. I mean, when you try to have a relationship with someone, everything is energy. Energy, as in you need to, even you want to spend time with each other. You want to put effort finding out where to eat. Takes energy. Going out takes energy. Even intimacy takes energy. So here, if you need that extra boost and you're really tired but you still want to spend time with your loved one, you can use the white tiger, because white tiger represents the stamina, vigor, and also to give you that extra boost of energy every time when you feel very tired. So you can use the white tiger for this. Okay, so for the next one, Okay. Finance. Okay. This is actually quite a important issue in every relationship. So in every relationship, you may hit, I'm sure it's not a may, I think we all will hit financial issues at any point in time. So there could be two different types again. So the first one could be you don't have enough money. You don't have enough money to, because you have children, mortgages, um, you have to take care of a family member, for instance. Or the worst one would be if one of you actually got laid off, and the financial burden will be on the other person. So this is one of the financial issues that you can have in any relationship. So like even children's education these days, I didn't know children's education these days actually costs so much. When I was studying, because I study in this college in KL, it's called APIT. They are an IT college. So when I was studying, I think I paid about 20 something thousand for the whole course. I paid it myself because I funded my own studies, and then I also work part-time jobs in order to pay off. It's quite expensive during my time. It's one of the top colleges in KL. So I didn't know how expensive it actually was until I met one of my juniors when I was working, where I'm working. Sorry, because I'm actually an IT consultant full time, and I'm doing this part time. Yeah, so I met a junior in my workplace, and he told me that his course fees, the exact same course that I took, which was about 20 something thousand, he paid 82,000 for the exact same course. So that's how much children education costs these days. So financial issue in a relationship financials can strain any relationship. So the second one, which is also equally important, is that you have money, but it's mismanaged by another person. For instance, if you entrusted your money, or you entrusted your joint account, for instance, to your other half. So assuming you didn't know 八字, and actually in 八字 you can actually see someone's money profile. There's a money profiling method in 八字 10x. If they are, for instance, rob wealth, indirect wealth, or 7K, or they have that as their money profile, then you may not want them to handle your finances because it may go a bit haywire. Yeah, so either you manage your own finances, or you probably have to keep a better eye on it. Okay, so this is from my own personal experience. I think I shared a little bit of this earlier this year in one of the budget courses that many years back I entrusted my financials to my then other half, whose money profiling wasn't really great. It doesn't mean that this person is not nice. It's just that it's not really great with money. So if you have someone like that, you have to make sure that you use certain methods here. Okay, what you can do here is okay. So for problem 4, you can use the Earth deity. Earth deity generally governs everything financial, anything to do with money, financial mastery. is from Earth. So if you have the problem of having not enough money, let's say, it's better to use Earth. Earth is, let me see, Earth in 2018 is west. Okay, so have your back face west and try to ask for financial mastery or knowing how to manage, how to get more money, or how to actually get more information or get someone to help you increase your wealth capacity. So you can actually use the earth element for that. So earth is in the west. Okay. Okay, but if you have the second issue, assuming that okay, sorry, for moon, you can also use moon for both issues actually, because now you need the knowledge on how to manage finances. So moon represents knowledge, represents intellectual knowledge. On if you want to know how to do something, you're not sure how you want to learn something, moon is the best deity to ask. Okay, so for the second issue that we have, if you can't manage money, you don't know how to manage money, then you need to backface the moon. Moon is in the east. Okay, so it's in the east. Okay, so have your back face east and ask for knowledge. Ask to know how to manage your finances. Ask for financial mastery or someone to help you, to guide you to do it. You can ask for that. So when you manifest this, after that, you have to be open to a lot of different things that might happen. One of it could be you suddenly flip through newspapers, you suddenly flip through magazines, and suddenly you see, oh, this is an article on how to invest on certain things. Maybe you could check it out. Or it could be when you go out and or when you go out and suddenly you just bump into someone, bump into an old friend, and your old friend tells you something to do with finance, or tells you that, oh, there's this class on how to do certain financial decisions, then you can actually look into that. So that's how Qi can work. Okay, so let me just check. You want to take a break? Okay. Now, okay, so we are going to take a short 10-minute break. Okay, we're going to take a short 10-minute break. If you have any questions, you can actually post it up now so we can try to answer it later. Okay, so we're going to take a 10-minute break first. Take a 10-minute break right now for you to absorb, and I'll see you back in 10 minutes. Okay, Fiona asked, black tortoise in year 2018 is in which direction? So in 2018, the black tortoise is in northwest. Okay, so the black tortoise is in northwest. And I think a lot of you asked this same question, so I will try to address it one shot. So C asks whether we can we can use any other chart like month, day, hour, or destiny chart for these issues. Actually, you can. For advanced students, it depends on what issue that you are working on. So if the issue takes a longer time to solve, then you need to use either the month or the yearly chart would be more appropriate, because there's only like 3 months plus till the year ends anyways. So you can still use the year chart. It's still okay. So if you have very short-term problems, and you have access to the hour or day charts, because I think not everyone here has access to that. So if you have access to our day and hour charts, for short-term issues like the family issue, like you want to quickly just use that on the spot, so you can actually use the hour or the day chart. Okay. So for next one, let's see. Okay, so Bernie asked if all this can be applied outside relationships. For instance, if he's having financial issues, nothing to do with a partner, can he still backface Earth? I would say if you have financial issues, you can use Earth, and you can also use Moon. To answer your question, if you can use this outside of relationship and for any financial issues, you can. You can use this for if you're having any normal financial issues that you want to solve. You can backface, what was it again? Let me see. Earth is in the west. Okay, so you can backface Earth, backface west to access Earth, and actually ask for more financial opportunities to come to you. That's how you use Earth. And if you are a bit clueless, you're not sure how to get out of something that you got yourself into, a financial mess that you got yourself into, then you use the Moon. The Moon is in the east. Okay, so your back face east, and you ask, how do you solve this financial issue? Okay, so you can use this outside of relationships. Okay. Next one. Okay, this is actually a 八字 question. In order to know the money profile for someone, you actually need to study, to have substantial knowledge in 八字 to begin with, because in a nutshell, it's actually the relationship between the wealth palace and your asset palace. So you need substantial knowledge, prior knowledge to 八字 in order to understand how to actually plot your money profile. Okay, so this one would need you to pick up 八字. Okay. Okay, so Fabio also asked the same question. Can he use other charts, hour, day, or month? So like I said earlier, it depends on the problem to begin with. So if you have a long-term problem, use a longer chart. If you have a short-term problem, use the shorter chart if you have access to it. But if you don't, then you just stick to the yearly chart. Okay? You can also use your destiny chart you have your own destiny chart, right? So you can also use your destiny chart in order to manifest, because those energies are already imprinted within you. So you can use it. Just look at your own destiny chart, the one that you printed out. Look at where the directions are, and you just follow that direction which is in your chart. Okay? Okay, so next one. Okay, Lai ask if to know more about the active and passive method that I mentioned earlier. Okay, with the surging snake. So in general, even if not with the surging snake, there are two methods that you can use: active and passive. So like I mentioned just now, passive method, it's better if you have prior knowledge to meditation or qigong, or prior knowledge to at least know how to get into alpha state or sage mode. So if you have that knowledge, it's a lot easier for you to get into to use the energy at that point in time. And when you access the energy, you can actually command it to do something, make a wish, and it will try to fulfill accordingly. So in the active method, okay, in certain things we don't just sit down and wish, because sometimes we need to go out and do something. Like you want to secure a contract, or you want to negotiate a discount for your new Mercedes, or if you want to win an iPod, for instance. Okay, so these are things that you need action on your part. Okay, in active for active method, what you do is you have your back face that direction, and then you start your negotiation. You start talking to someone, you start negotiating with them, or even in job interviews. You try to get the best position in that given hour. You have the interview at that point in time, so that your chances of success is a lot higher. So these are active methods when you're going out and doing something. Okay. So next one, let me see. Okay, this one is interesting. So Patrick wants to know how to solve a dispute of a family member over inheritance and what deity should be used. This is a family relationship matter. Okay, so if there is a dispute, every time there is a dispute, it's always nice to use the sixth harmony, because sixth harmony governs relationships in general. It governs win-win situation, that everyone is happy with the solution. Or it also can mean that someone comes in to help solve the issue for you. So in this case, if you have a problem with the inheritance, you can start the negotiation, you can start talking with your back facing sixth harmony. Okay, then you'll find that it's a lot easier to talk to someone and to come to a peaceful conclusion when you're speaking with your back facing that direction. Okay, next one. Anything else? This one. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, this one. Okay, this one is interesting. So Elvin wants to know, which direction or deity to use to attract a girl or a guy. Okay. If you want to attract someone, I would say for start you can start using you can use the black tortoise, but you need to actually approach this person, and then try to have your back face this direction, and then approach this person nicely, because it somehow makes you more charming, and they are more likely to listen to what you want to say. But that being said, black tortoise should only be used for the initial attraction, because in the long run, you can't keep tortoising someone every single day. Okay, so you can use it as a start, but it's not something that can keep you going in the long run. So you can use the black tortoise, which is in northwest, okay, back face northwest, to get the initial attraction. And after that, you need some substance, and you also need to put in effort and energy to see if you're already okay together, and to build a relationship. Okay, so you can't really tortoise them every single day. Remember that. Okay, next one. Scroll down this one. Wait. Okay, this one. Okay, so Yun Fo wants to know, for communication, isn't red phoenix the deity to use? True and false, because red phoenix is a deity which is slightly argumentative. So you may not want to use this to speak to someone, because red deity likes to debate. Actually, when they speak in a debative manner, which may not sit well when you're already having problems. So black tortoise, which is also like red phoenix, would be a better option to use for this. Okay. So the next one, this one more I just mentioned. Yeah, okay. So S wants to know if there's any way to tell if someone is naturally argumentative in a relationship. Like I just mentioned just now, if in your destiny chart, your red phoenix is a bit on the negative side, with negative stems, negative structure, everything is negative, then this person is a bit more argumentative by nature. Okay, that would be the Qimeng way of looking at it if you don't have any knowledge on 八字. Is there any karmic issues that require deeper? Okay, I don't think this is relevant for this question. The answer would be red phoenix that I just mentioned just now. Scroll further down. This one is awesome. This one.
Yes.
Okay, so Joanne wants to know, is there any active method to use the white tiger? So white tiger, like I mentioned just now, it governs stamina. It governs energy, as in if you're feeling tired and you really need that extra boost, right? So that is white tiger. So active method, you can actually use back face the white tiger direction to do certain things. The only thing that I can think about, which is related to what we mentioned just now, is intimacy. I have not tried this at all, but you can actually try it and then let me know if you backface certain direction during sex, during your intimacy, whether it helps or not. Okay, so there is one method that you can actually try with white tiger. Yeah, so Miss Chan wants to know, could you give example of command language to command the deities when we go through each of the problem? Okay, so for this one, okay, the one that we've currently used, I will just go backwards a bit, okay? Because I want to make sure all of you can use something that you get something out of today's lesson. So the one that we've used previously is, the first one is snake, right? Okay, so when you use command language, is more for, I would say, is more for passive method. So when you use a surging snake, you can actually command the surging snake to control your surrounding energy at the moment. Okay, so you can actually control that the energy around you right now is positive. The example of command languages that you can use is probably surging snake, control the energy in this area, and keep everyone positive, keep everyone open-minded, keep everyone open to what I need to say, something like that. Okay, that will be one example. So if you're using the moon, let's say, if you're using the moon for finance, or you're using it for, what was it earlier? Let's say financial issues. So you have your back face, the moon, and the command language that you can use is actually, moon, I need, find someone to solve this financial issue for me, or find someone who can show me the way to solve this financial issue. Or you can say, moon, I need to be better at my financial mastery. Please show me or guide me the correct way to learn financial mastery. So that could be another example. For tortoise, for instance, communication, if you want to use it for passive method, you can always backface the tortoise and you can say, black tortoise, I need to learn how to speak better. I need to communicate with people better. So help me. Something like that. Okay? Okay, so just to answer Lai again, active is face back, talking to the person, because it could be talking to the person, or you could be doing something, like you are making a decision at that point in time, or you sign up for something at that point in time, or you are asking this person out at the point in time, or you chose to go out at this point in time. So it's something that you're actually doing. Okay, so it could be talking or doing something physical for active manifestation. Okay, I think we need to go back to the subject, and I'll try to answer the questions later, okay? So I'm going to go back to the slides. We have 3 more to go. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm going to skip this one first, and I'm going to talk about, I am going to talk about trust first. Okay, so trust is also a very big issue in relationships. There are also there are 2 different type of trust issues that I discovered. Trust in general is something that is really difficult to fix, because it's very difficult to iron back a piece of paper that is already crumpled. Okay, so this is for those who have suffered some sort of breach of trust, infidelity, physical or mental abuse, even misappropriation of funds, like we mentioned earlier, finance. Okay, first time is a mistake. It's probably forgivable. But second time is actually a breach of trust. Okay, so it also falls into that. I read up on an article that talks about this term called gaslighting. So I'm not sure if you ever heard of it before. Gaslighting is when one spouse is a really dominant spouse, and what they do is they actually control your mind. Every day is some sort of a brainwash where they make you think that you are unworthy, or they make you feel very lowly of yourself. So they make you feel so low that you don't know your own worth, and you think that what they are saying is true. So you can actually Google up this word called gaslighting. That's actually such a thing. So if you are in a situation like that, where one spouse is actually really reducing you to nothing, it's also a breach of trust. So there's also an issue where one of my close friends, he asked me something about a couple of months back, and this is actually a real story. Just wanted to share with anyone out there in case you have some sort of similar issue. So he was asking me about a friend that he knew who attempted suicide because the partner actually threatened this person to release their sex video. So this person couldn't take it. It's actually a gay couple. Yeah, it's a gay couple. So the guy couldn't take it, and then he attempted suicide. So this is a massive breach of trust as well. So thankfully, this person survived. But how does a person like that learn to trust again? So the second issue would be, assuming you knew this person who attempted suicide. You could see that they had an issue. You could see the partner wasn't really that great, but you are not really. You try to advise them. You try to talk to them. You try to tell them, but they wouldn't listen. I'm sure we all have this issue before. So actually, I realized that it's not that they don't believe you. It's not that they don't want to take action. It's actually they don't believe that they can find something else. So here is an internal trust problem. They actually do not believe that they can find someone better, and they don't believe that they will be in a better situation. So if you are in one of these two situations, so what you can use here is the nine heavens, because nine heavens deity is the deity that governs faith. Okay, so if you are nine heavens, you generally have quite strong faith. Okay, like no matter what happens, you're still quite positive. You're still quite okay. So in 2018, just let me check there. I'm using this chart because some problems take time. Like this problem, will probably take a while because it's not that easy to build trust again, but you still have to. So in 2018, the nine heavens is in the southwest. Okay, so back face southwest. This one is more of a passive manifestation, because you need to be able to convince yourself that there is something better for you, there is a better life for you, and also in case in problems of infidelity, you want to trust your spouse again, and you think that you want to give it a second try, and it's difficult to move past that stage, then you can also use the nine heavens. Nine heavens will actually give you more faith and give you more hope, something better to look forward to. Okay, so that would be the 9 heavens. Now I'm going to go back. Okay, this is the second last one. Now the topic gets a little bit heavier because these are the more serious relationship topics that I actually chose to tackle. Okay, like I said, I don't promise you that you can solve these issues by tomorrow. These are really big issues. Nonetheless, they are still issues. But what we want to achieve today is that you take the first step. Okay, and Chiman can help you do that. So just stay open. Okay. So the next one, love. Okay, love is about being in a dead-end relationship actually. So sometimes people fall out of love. Okay, after you try every single thing. It can be for any reason. Sometimes there are problems. Sometimes the problems just are too much that you just lost the love for each other. Or maybe sometimes people make mistakes. Maybe it wasn't the right person, or you actually tried a lot of things to make it work, but you still don't feel happy or you don't feel fulfilled. Because ultimately, let's face it, we all choose to be in a relationship because we want to be happy. At least we want to be fulfilled. So sometimes if it's not working out and it's draining you and it's changing you to another person, then there's no point to be too stubborn about it. Okay, sometimes, like I said, fixing can be fixing. Sometimes fixing means leaving. So even though I'm not an advocate for divorce, okay, but I also cannot, in my clear conscience, ask anyone to stay in a relationship that is toxic or that is really bad for them or turning them into a bad person. Because so for now, if you are stuck in this sort of relationship, what we can use is, okay, here we're going to use the moon. Because if you are stuck in this sort of situation, normally you don't really know what to do anymore. Okay, so we use the moon because the moon governs knowledge. The moon governs knowing not only what is external, it's also knowing what is internal. So you need to know what you want from the relationship. You need to know what you want from being happy. So what makes you happy? What do you actually want from it? If this relationship is worth saving or not saving, you need to make a decision. So that is why we use the moon. Okay. In addition to the moon here, I will also add a tiger. Because knowing is one thing, doing is another. So if you need the courage to come out of an abusive relationship or in one that is really a toxic relationship, something that's really bringing you down, you need the courage. Okay, so this is more for, I would say this would be the active manifestation where you need to get out of it. So this will give you courage. Or you can also use it as a passive manifestation in order to give yourself the courage to do what you think is right. Okay, like I said earlier, in relationships, there is no right or wrong. And we should not be too judgmental about a lot of things because sometimes if you want to be happy, you have to choose you want to be happy or you want to do what other people think is right. Okay, so you can use the moon to actually find out for yourself if this is worth saving or what you really want, and use the tiger. Tiger is in the north. Okay, north. Tiger for the courage to do it. So that is when you are in a dead-end relationship. So, okay, we go to the last one. So assuming that you took that step, okay, assuming that you already took that big step, that you want a new life, or even if at the moment you are single, okay, if you are single as well, you can, sometimes people underestimate the importance of actually cleansing yourself. Cleansing as in, when you come out of a relationship, if you come out of a relationship too fast and then you get into another relationship, do you realize that you actually pick the same person and then you have to go through the same problems all over again, and then you're wondering, how come it's the same issue all over again, all over again, all over again? It's because you have not really cleansed yourself, your thoughts, or cleanse yourself off the previous relationship, the previous energy that you carried into this new relationship. So that's why you keep picking the same type of partner, same type of relationship issues, and then you go through the same thing all over again. Then you wonder what's the point? Okay, so this is actually a very important step, whether you are just coming out of a relationship or you want to get into one. Okay, so for cleansing, the best deity to use for cleansing, I think some of you advanced people will know this. Chief. Chief is really good for cleansing, rejuvenating, to clear yourself of negative energy. Chief is really good for that. So Chief this year is in the south. Okay, so have your back face south. This I would say is a very passive method. It's a very passive method. You can consider it some sort of meditation, pre-relationship meditation, to cleanse off all your old energy, your old boyfriend energy, so that you don't keep attracting the same type of person all over again. Okay, so have your back face south. So assuming this is south, you can ask the chief to clear off all your energy of your previous relationship. You can also manifest in a way that you say, I'm open for a new relationship. I believe in myself. I believe that I can have a really good relationship, that I can attract a person that is really good for me. So you can actually use the chief to do this cleansing so that you don't carry all the old energy patterns into a new relationship. Okay, so we have covered all 7. We have covered all 7 by now. If you still have any questions, I think you have a lot of questions, so I'm trying to address all your questions. Did you mark?
Yeah, ready. Hold on now. You scroll.
Okay.
From top to bottom.
This is okay. This is the one earlier, is it? Okay, just give me a moment while we filter through the questions. I want to answer as much as possible.
Just
Take this one, right? Okay.
just scroll up.
Scroll
then,
up.
From bottom.
Okay.
From bottom there you stop.
Okay. Okay, I'm just going to answer the very quick ones first. Okay, Rachel asked what is the direction for 9 heavens. 9 heavens is in the southwest. Okay, it's in the southwest. And Follow up on the, okay. Okay, so Yunfo has this question. According to the compendium, Black Tortoise is stated as a liar who tends to be responsible. As I mentioned earlier, there are 10 deities. All 10 deities have its positive, all 10 deities has its negative. How you use it solely depends on your intention. So I think if your intention is to, based on this question, if the intention is to lie or to do something bad, you can use any single deity. There's still a negative connotation to it. So if your intention is actually to use the good side of it, to actually use the communication skills, to use the likability skills, how to speak, to get someone to actually listen to you, to have that convincing power, then if you manifest it that way, then it will be only on the positive. It will not be on the negative. So it solely depends on your intention. Okay. So Elaine wants to know which deity can cure loneliness or heartbreak. I just mentioned just now for cleansing, for healing, because chief is really good for healing. You can use the chief. So if you're going through heartbreak or you're going through some sort of turmoil or you just broken up and you feel very upset and you know what to do, then you can backface the chief and you ask for healing. Okay. So Rachel wants to know what command do we give to which deity in order to meet and attract the right one into her life. So for this, for me personally, I would choose the 9 heavens because it governs faith. Because we need to believe that we are able to attract the right person to begin with. Sometimes we attract the wrong one because we ourselves don't believe that we are able to attract certain people. So sometimes we lower ourselves down. Sometimes we look at ourselves a bit more, a bit lower than we should. So I think 9 heavens will give you the faith and also will give you the faith that you can actually find the right person and you will attract the right person into your life. So what command do you use? You backface southwest and you ask nine heavens. I have faith that I will attract the right partner for me at the right time. Okay, so you can use something like that. It's just an example. Okay, I'm just scrolling through more questions. Okay, this one. So Shirley wants to know what is the best deity to use to leave a relationship with someone you love. So Shirley, if you have already exhausted every single option, first I would advise you to try everything that you've learned today first. Try to see if you can salvage anything or if there's anything here, anything still worth saving, since you say that is someone that you love. So maybe there's still something there that can be saved. If you decide to leave the relationship, then you can use the love method, which is actually the moon and the tiger to give you the courage to actually do it. But I would strongly suggest that you try everything that you have learned today first before you decide. Okay, I'm just scrolling through. Um, okay, so I think that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed today's webinar. Thank you for logging in. Thank you for all your time. Hopefully, you can try everything that I have mentioned today. And I hope everyone has an awesome and great relationship after this. Okay, so thank you so much. And I'll see you soon.